Lesson 5.3 is on adding, subtracting, and multiplying polynomials. So the good news is that for the most part you guys have done this before, and the only bad news I guess is you have to just look out for the details of the problems. This can sometimes be tedious, and so you have to just make sure that you are paying close attention to the details. When you add or subtract polynomials, basically all that you're doing is combining like terms and then writing your answer in standard form. So again, standard form is where you write all the terms in descending order of the exponents. The exponents are in descending order. So these problems, they're really not too bad to do at all. Two main mistakes that I see. First of all, just make sure you pay attention to the actual operation between the two polynomials. You guys will be adding, subtracting, or multiplying, and I see a lot of people miss the fact that there's a plus or a minus in between their polynomials and just go to town multiplying. So that's the first most common mistake I see. The other one is when you are subtracting, remember that negative gets distributed to all three terms. So let me just run through a subtracting one with you. This 1 minus 3x plus x squared minus x cubed, that all is going to stay the same. None of the signs changed. But then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and distribute that negative and write my terms right alongside it. So it will become a negative 3 minus a 2x to the fifth, and then minus the negative 4 becomes plus 4x. And here I'm just looking for like terms. I'll start with the highest exponent though, the degree of the polynomial. Here's an x to the fifth. I look for anything that will combine with x to the fifth, and we don't have anything, so my first term is negative 2x to the fifth. I am a big fan of crossing things off because if you notice we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 terms to combine here, and you want to make sure that you don't miss any and you kind of know when you're done looking at anything, or when you're done with a term, you'll know you're done with it. All right, now look for any x to the fourth exponents. We don't have any, so move on to your x cubed. There's one right here. That appears to be the only one, so minus x cubed, it won't combine with anything. Now any x squareds, looks like there's just one of those, so far not a whole lot going on with this problem. Here we have a negative 3x plus 4x. When you combine those, keep the signs as they are, so the negative 3 plus 4 becomes plus an x. And we're done with those. And then you have your 1 and your negative 3. So 1 minus 3 is a negative 2. And this will be our final answer on that. So just combine like terms, pay attention to the operation, and then just be careful about the signs of each term. All right, multiplying. Two ways that I'll show you. The first one is distributing, which is going to be like the FOIL method that you guys know. And the other one is the box method. I'm not sure if you've seen this before. It's just it's a nice way to organize your work. I don't care which way you do the multiplying as long as you end up with the correct answer. And again, make sure that you are ending up in standard form for your final answer. All right, so for this problem, we have 3x plus 5 times 2x plus 5. I know that you guys know how to FOIL. You'd multiply your first, outside, inside, last, and combine your like terms. But let me show you what the box looks like. Here you have a two-term polynomial by a two-term polynomial. So that's a 2 by 2, which means I'm going to make a box that is 2 by 2. The first polynomial, 3x plus 5, I'm going to write, I can put it on the top or the side, it doesn't matter, but it's a 3x and then a positive 5. And then the other polynomial, 2x plus 5, I'm going to put that along the side. So 2x and a positive 5. And then what we do is it basically just relates this to the idea of area. You're finding the area of each of these squares. And so I would take this 3x times this 2x, but really it's just giving us a way to organize our work. 3x times 2x is a 6x squared. Now I'm going to move over here and do 2x times the 5, which will give me 10x. 5 times the 3x is 15x. And then the last box, 5 times 5 is 25. As your polynomials get bigger, I tend to go toward the box method. If it's a binomial times a binomial, I'll just FOIL that out. But the more terms you have, it gets more challenging to organize the work. So, keep in mind this might be a nice way to go. You notice we have these like terms right here, so we're able to just go ahead and write our final answer. You have that 6x squared. You have your 10x plus your 15x, because they're both positive, that becomes a 25x. We're just combining those like terms, and then plus 25. And that will be our final answer. You don't have to write this one down, but just let me, foiling, what you would do is you would take this x and you have to multiply it by the first, second, and third terms. Then you take the 1, multiply it by the first, second, and third terms. So it's basically foiling, although we have more terms, so you're just kind of distributing your first polynomial through the second one. You'll end up with 6 terms total, kind of lined up horizontally, and then you'll combine all your like terms. The box method, because we have a 2-term polynomial by a 3-term, that's what we're going to do. We're going to make, for the box, just to go through setting this up again, I've got the 3 terms across the top, so that's 2x squared, a positive 3x, and a negative 4, and then along the side will be that x plus 1, so x and a positive 1. And then you would just multiply to get your terms on the inside, and then look for any like terms within the boxes to combine for your final answer. Again, don't write this one down, but I just want to show you that I don't know if you guys have multiplied trinomials by trinomials. I personally, for sure, would be doing the box method on this. I would have a 3 by 3 box to set this up. It would look something like this, with that first polynomial going across the top and the second one going across the side. Alright, here's our last slide. Here we're multiplying 3 polynomials together, so I'll actually run through this example with you because I don't think there's a video for one quite like this. I think the best way to approach this is just to kind of follow your order of operations where you're multiplying here and you're multiplying here. So let's just work left to right. Let's do this multiplication first. It's a binomial times a binomial, so I'm just going to FOIL that out. We have x squared minus 2x plus 9x minus 18. Combine your like terms, so we have x squared plus 7x minus 18. Throw parentheses around that, and now what we're going to do is bring our last binomial down and multiply that by the x minus 7. Now that I have a trinomial involved, I personally am going to the box method because that works better for me and how I organize my work. You can put the trinomial across the top or on the side, it doesn't matter, but this will be your x squared, your 7x, and your negative 18. Here's your x and your negative 7 from the binomial over there. And then we're just going to multiply. We'll end up with x cubed, 7x squared, negative 18x, negative 7x squared, negative 49x, 18 times 7, 126. So now just look to combine your like terms. You have just one x cubed, but then you have a 7x squared and a negative 7x squared. Those actually cancel each other out. So then we have this negative 18 minus a 49, so that gives us a negative 67x. Those like terms, and then plus 126 in the end. So that's your final answer. There's only 3 videos to watch on this. There's one adding, one subtracting, one multiplying. So it's going to be pretty basic and fast. I do want you to watch the videos, obviously. And here's what you should try, just to say, okay, I got this, or I definitely need some practice on it. When you watch the video, look at what the problem is before you play the video, or maybe play the video and hit pause right away as soon as you see the problem and before any work is done. Work through the problem in your notes, and then play the video. I mean, and if you feel good about it, even fast forward to the end to see if you got the right answer. But if you're not getting the right answer, then really, watch the video thoroughly, try to figure out, it's probably a small mistake you're making, but try to catch that. So on the 3 videos, add, subtract, multiply, try the problem first before you see the video and then check your answer.